Hey guys, it is Arika Misha. Thank you so much for joining me today. And let me just first start off by saying I almost didn't make it here today. Yeah, it has been one of those days, but in spite of, I am still here for God's purpose only. And as you guys can tell by the title of today's video, I've got my notes here, guys. The title of today's video is You Have to Be Broken. You have to be broken. In order for God to use you, it's just part of the process. And I'm speaking from experience, speaking from things that I have gone through on my spiritual walk, my spiritual journey, and I'm praying that it may help someone. You have to be broken. As I was spending time with God, talking to God about some things that, I have been going through. And of course, questioning God as to why it is that I'm going through so much and the things that I've been going through. And especially not only the things that I have been going through, how long I've been going through them. And I said, God, I understand we go through for some time. I said, but God, it has been years. And a lot of times, when we go through things, our time isn't God's time. It may be, seem like years to us, but our time isn't the same time as God's. And God has just been ministering to me about just staying focused on Him and not worrying about how long it's been I've been dealing with a situation or dealing with this and dealing with that. And it is so important that we focus on God. In spite of what we're going through and in spite of what's going on in our lives and our trials and tribulations, we must stay focused on God. And that's what I have learned. I've been learning, still learning, always learning. But that's what I have been learning through my process, to focus on God. No matter what I'm going through, no matter what I'm dealing with, just stay focused on God. And although sometimes that is hard to do, staying focused on God is hard to do sometimes. I'm just, just speaking my truth. It is hard sometimes to stay focused on God, because a lot of times we want to focus on the situation, but God says focus on Him. And God was just ministering to me as I was saying to God, God, why am I going through so much? Why am I dealing with this? Why am I dealing with that? And God was telling me, you have to be broken. Something happened and it just really just broke. Just really broke me. And I went to God and I went crying to God and I said, God, why? And God said, you have to be broken. You have to be broken. That's a part of the process. God said, you don't get to be used by me and not be broken. You don't get to go in my name and say, God put this in my spirit. God spoke to me about this without being broken. No. And as simple as His answer was, it still was hard. And I said, God, okay. I said okay, but I didn't really mean okay, But that's what God said. We have to be broken. God said you have to be broken. And I just prayed and I said, God, I understand. We have to be broken. We have to go through trials and tribulations. We have to go through things, in order for our ministry to grow, the ministry within us that God puts in us. Things that we go through, our lives, trials and tribulations, is what makes and develops and builds up the ministry. You can't minister to anyone or be there for anyone if you haven't gone through anything. and some things you may have gone through and I may not have gone through, So therefore, things that we have been through, God will put those people in our lives so that we can help them get through it from our experience, from our walk with Christ. And as I was reading my word, God was just saying to me, you have to be broken. In order for me to use you, God said, you have to be broken. So as hard as that is to accept, we have to accept it. It's part of the process. If God is going to use you, if God is going to use us, we have to be broken. We have to go through things. We have to go through trials and tribulations. We have to go without some things. We have to, we got to go through. That's just how it is, But God also told me, even though in the breaking, even though I'm breaking you and you're being broken, He said, I am with you through the breaking. Now, isn't that so comforting to know that you're not being broken and you're alone in your brokenness? No, God said, I'm breaking you. He said, I'm breaking you to build you back up, and God knows, He knows who we are and how we are. So God says, I've got to break you. I've got to break you down to nothing and build you back up into who I want you to be. And that making doesn't come overnight. And the breaking doesn't come overnight either, because some of us, it may take God years to break. And, so in the years of breaking, even though we are breaking, God is breaking us down. We're growing in the breaking. Isn't that something? While He's breaking us down, we are growing. Because I know through my breaking, I have grown. In the midst of God breaking me down, spiritually, I have grown. So, you have to be broken. We have to be broken. And that's what God said to me in my time, spending my time with Him and reading my word. God said, you have to be broken. He says, in order for me to use you, you have to be broken. And God has truly broken me, taken me through things. And what gives me comfort is knowing that when God is breaking me, it's not to hurt me or for to tear me apart and tear me down. He's breaking me down to build me back up, and a lot of us need that. So that gives me comfort, knowing that He's breaking me down to build me back up, to make me better, to make me a better person. Don't you want to be a better person? So we have to be broken. That's what God wanted me to come and share today. We have to be broken. And the breaking and being broken does not feel good at all. But we have to be, in order for God to use us properly. If you want to be used properly by God, and you want God to use you in a mighty way, like they said, the greater the anointing, the greater the suffering. So that's what God wanted me to come and talk about today. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I appreciate your love and support. Don't forget to go in the description box, guys. Click on that link to my second channel. Over there, guys, I'm doing hair, makeup, nails, cooking, grocery hauls, DIYs, reviews. I do so much over there. It's just my life. And over there, too, I do things to share. And I pray that it may help people as well. So make sure you click on that link in the description box to my second channel to show me some love and support over there as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. God bless. Bye.